joining us here tonight on Halton News, right here on YourTV. It's Tuesday, August 25th, and I'm Jessica Kading. There are currently 23 people living in Halton who are currently confirmed positive with active cases of COVID-19. 6 of those people live in Burlington, 6 in Oakville, 10 in Milton, and 1 in Halton Hills. If you have any information that could help officers identify 2 men that robbed a TELUS store in Burlington on Appleby Line Sunday morning, please call Crime Stoppers at 1-800-222-TIPS. They're looking for 2 suspects. The first is described as a black 5'10" male with an average build and a black beard. The second, a black 6'2" male with a muscular build. One was wearing an Adidas sweater, the other a Nike sweater, both with hoods up, both with black pants, and both had plastic gloves on as well. A couple of weeks ago, we told you about the Halton District School Board's plan of reopening, and now the Catholic District School Board has their formal plan in place as well. There still seems to be some confusion, though, among parents as to what to expect, so we reached out to Milton trustee Patrick Murphy, who was able to break it down for us. In this clip, he describes what high school will look like in September.
The high school level, it's adaptive learning, which is mandated by the provincial government, the Ministry of Education, which basically means that the classes are broken into 2 groups, 2 cohorts, cohort A and B, the maximum of 15 students in each cohort, which will attend school on an alternating schedule. So, for example, cohort A would attend school on Monday and Tuesday, and then cohort B would attend on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and then it would rotate the following week. We're in a quadmester format, so there'll be 2 courses. So, for example, cohort A on Monday will take course 1, and on cohort A on Tuesday will take course 2, and then it alternates. So at the high school level, it's synchronous learning. So cohort A and B and cohort C, which is the cohort which opted for remote learning, will receive the same program synchronously at the same time with the same teacher. So they constitute a classroom, cohort A, B, and C. They will be in the school for half a day. Then they will be transported or walked home. There'll be time for lunch, and then there'll be asynchronous learning and synchronous learning online for all later in the day. So high school as an elementary school are mandated for 300 minutes a day of teaching, of which 225 will be synchronous.
Meanwhile, for elementary school, Murphy says it will be a more traditional approach with some modifications for safety.
For elementary schools, it's a conventional model that is mandated by the provincial government. So that is where a class constitutes a cohort. And a class could be of various sizes, 20, 23, potentially greater. For kindergarten, for example, it's not uncommon to have upwards of 30 students in that class. So they will be going through a full day, again, of 300 minutes of learning. Again, there is an option of remote learning for elementary school, and that will more than likely be constituted in a virtual class. So you won't necessarily be in a virtual classroom with your own school or teacher. It'll be a class that is put together.
It's also worth noting that the Catholic Board has also passed a motion to make it mandatory that all students wear masks inside the school from JK to grade 12. We'll have more on that decision during tomorrow's newscast. Various MPs from across the region gathered at LaSalle Park this morning to announce $205,000 towards the Hamilton Harbour remedial action plan. As Milton MP Adam Van Couverton explains, this is not a new project, but a continuation of the efforts to clean up and ultimately delist Hamilton Harbour as an area of concern.
It's not a new program. It's been around since 1992, and the program looks to clean up Hamilton Harbour, thereby delisting it as an area of concern. Beginning in 1992, the HHRAP has been working with the federal, provincial, and municipal, as well as local organizations to achieve cleanup measures collaboratively. And as somebody who went to McMaster University and paddled on this bay quite a bit, actually I left a boat over at Leander, I'm grateful for the cleanup measures that have been going on for that, I suppose, 28 years and ongoing. It's important that this is a multi-use bay, that it is here for recreation and for people to live and for animals, and that requires a safe and healthy ecosystem. So we're really grateful for the work.
The Hamilton Harbor Remedial Action Plan began through the Bay Area Implementation Team and the Bay Area Restoration Council. And as Burlington MP Karina Gould comments, the area, which is also known as Burlington Bay, has seen dramatic improvements.
We know that for over 100 years, the harbor and the bay have been subject to, industrial processes, and this is just one more of the commitments that we've made to cleaning up the harbor to make sure that it continues to be a wonderful place for Burlingtonians and for Hamiltonians to work, live, and play. I was just reflecting on bait and bark, and I know that the rehabilitation and restoration of fish habitat is so important, and it's always been exciting to see, in the summer months, more people getting out and fishing, enjoying our resources, and being able to actually go and swim in the lake as well. Growing up, that wasn't something you did. You didn't go to Burlington Beach and you didn't go swimming in the lake, but because of successive investments from the federal government, from the really important work that our partners locally, like Conservation Halton, are doing to make sure that this is a resource we can all enjoy.
The CAO of Conservation Halton also expressed his appreciation of the partnerships that have made this remedial action plan possible and for the funding announcement made by the federal government today. And of course, Hamilton Harbor is a shared waterway with the city of Burlington, and Burlington's Mayor Marianne Mead Ward was also pleased with today's announcement.
Well, it's great news for our communities, our shared communities, right? We share a bay, we share a watershed, and clean water knows no boundaries. It knows no geographic or political boundaries. And so it matters to all of us to make sure that it is clean and protected. I, of course, sit on the Conservation Halton board as well with my colleague, Councillor Nissan, Councillor Galbraith, whose ward the bay is in, was at the announcement. And this is a true reflection of collaboration across agencies, across cities, and across governments.
Mayor Mead Ward also acknowledged how far the area has come and how much longer the cleanup may take.
Every step we take in the direction of a cleanup helps. This took decades, if not more. We heard this morning that somebody caught a fish in the late 1800s and it tasted like coal. So this problem wasn't made overnight. It's not going to be solved overnight. But I'm really pleased that despite changes in who's in office politically, despite changes even around who's around the table at agencies, the commitment has remained steadfast from all of our organizations and agencies to get this done. And we're not there yet. There's still lots of work to be done, but we've made enormous progress over the last few decades and certainly in the last few years.
Burlington City Council sat last night and Mayor Mead Ward shares some of the latest developments and decisions that were made.
There's a lot going on. So we recently approved at council a reduction to our facility rental fees. We know we have a lot of businesses and nonprofit groups that provide recreational programming right in our city facilities, and they're struggling because they can't get the volumes that they're used to make the bottom line work. And so we did an across the board 25% decrease in rental fees, and we made that retroactive to summer programming as well. And we also we more than doubled actually the funding that we've provided for individual families who use our city programs to provide facility like programming assistance. So that was big. We also as a council approved $250,000 to assist small businesses. We're still working on the details and the criteria, but we're really trying to do our part. We've gotten some government funding and we're trying to do our part to pass that on to our community during these tough times.
Additionally, Burlington Council approved moving forward with requesting adjustments to the Downtown Urban Growth Center and removing the major transit station area designation from downtown Burlington.
We've also taken a huge step forward in our planning for our city and downtown. And the most recent step was our staff recommended that we speak to the region and the province ultimately about taking the major transit station area designation out of the downtown. That was used to justify a 26-story building, and it was argued we lost that at the former Ontario Municipal Board because of the MTSA. We also are going to talk about adjusting the boundaries of the urban growth center designation, which also is downtown. And both of those together have been used to argue overdevelopment downtown. And now we have a staff recommendation and some analysis that really we know the future growth of the city is coming around our GO stations. And so we are engaged in conversations with the region coming up, and ultimately with the province to shift all of that to where the future growth goes. And that's going to take some pressure off the downtown. So it's not the last step in our journey to control overdevelopment downtown and to get more community planning, but it's a really huge, significant step. And we're going to keep going until we get it done.
The Milton Sports Hall of Fame has decided to postpone this year's induction ceremony. We spoke with Rod McLaughlin, who explains how the board came to this decision.
You know, we kind of left it, you know, as long as we thought we could, which was, you know, mid-August, which gives us, you know, about 2 to 3 months of planning. That was about as late as we felt we could take it. You know, the challenge is really that these kinds of events, you do need some runway to get everything organized. Especially ticket sales is part of it. But, you know, ultimately, it didn't really come down to money. We thought we could run a really good program, even if, you know, we were giving away tickets for free, frankly. But it was just really a lot of uncertainty, you know, even now, as to what November will look like. That's when we were scheduled to have this event in the middle of November. And it's hard to say, you know, we were hoping that, you know, restrictions would loosen up a bit and then, you know, we could do something, but it really came down to almost layers of restrictions, you know, federally, provincially, at the regional level, and then with the town. And that's not to say, you know, everyone was a great partner and they always have been, especially the town of Milton. But our event is in a town facility. And so, you know, one of the things that they specifically wanted was 12 by 12 foot space for each guest on top of the limit of, you know, 100 people, sorry, I should say 50 people in an indoor setting. So when you look at that, it's 144 square feet per person of space that you need to hold on to. And our wall is in a hallway, and so that would have limited us to 12 people in the hallway right in front of the wall. But when we saw that number of 12, it really just didn't make sense to us because it's all about the interaction between the friends and the family and just the celebration. So I think ultimately what's likely to happen is we'll have a ceremony in the fall next year, and it will just celebrate the 2020 inductees. And we probably won't have a class next year, new class.
Up next, how you can participate in this year's Terry Fox Run. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Halton News. The Terry Fox Run is a Canadian tradition that, just like Terry, cannot be discouraged. Nikki Wesley reports on how you can participate in the Oakville Terry Fox Run this year.
This would normally be where Terry Fox participants are celebrated as they cross the finish line in Oakville's Coronation Park. Terry Fox Chair Pam DeMoff.
Well, it's going to be a lot different this year. It's going to be a virtual run, walk, bike, whatever, push a stroller. But we're not going to be meeting here at Coronation Park this year as a group of 1,000 people. We're encouraging people to get out doing it their own way on September the 20th, but doing it differently this year where we can't, for public health reasons, we can't gather in a large group.
Going virtual has given this year's run a lot more flexibility for participants.
You can sign up today. In fact, we're encouraging people to sign up today and then start fundraising And if you want to do at 5K every day for the next month, you can. If you want to do it on September 20th, whatever works for you and your family and friends.
This year marks the 40th anniversary of the run that has raised more than $800 million for cancer research. While it's a shame participants won't be able to gather like they traditionally would, Demoff says that's no reason to miss out.
But if anybody knew how to rise to a challenge, it was Terry Fox. And so you can certainly, we have 40th anniversary t-shirts that you can order. You just can email oakvilleterryfox@gmail.com and we'll arrange to get you a t-shirt in a safe way.
In honor of the 40th anniversary, the Oakville organizers are putting forward a challenge to the town of Oakville.
It's the 40th anniversary, so we have an app this year, which is very cool. It tracks your steps, tracks the distance that you go, and we're going to have a Team Oakville challenge. So people can join the challenge by downloading the app at terryfox.org/app, and then we can send you a link and you can join. And we're trying to get everybody in Oakville to do 5,373 kilometers, which is the distance Terry went. Not each person, but a cumulative total of everyone that joins the challenge. I think it would be kind of neat, and it's a way to get motivated when we can't all meet as a group. We can be motivated by being part of this challenge, and let's see if we can go the same distance that Terry did.
Reporting for Halton News, I'm Nikki Wesley.
We are under a heat advisory in Halton, and as we head into our 5-day outlook, here is a look out on Brant Street. Taking a look now at our forecast, a little bit cooler tomorrow after today's scorching heat. A mix of sun and cloud is expected. And then over the next 3 days, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, you can expect highs of 28 degrees and a 60% chance of rain showers on each of those days. And then significantly cooling down by Sunday, only reaching a high of 22 degrees. But with that, you can look forward to a mix of sun and cloud. And now we'll look to how Halton's top companies are performing on the markets today. We do need to take a short break. We'll be back with the latest from the Burlington Food Bank after this. Welcome back to Halton News. I'm Jessica Kading. Despite donation numbers being down while the need in the community is still increased, the Burlington Food Bank wants to ensure you're fully aware that if you need help, even if you've never needed it before, they're here for you.
Hi, this is Robin Bailey, the Executive Director at the Burlington Food Bank, and we just want to remind people about our community gardens and how well they're going. Our personal community garden, the one that the food bank has run, we've been doing it for a few years now, and each year we keep increasing. We've already surpassed all that we collected last year. We've already collected more than that this year, so thanks again to Lisa and her team over at our community garden that's just on Maple. Also, we wanted to thank the Grow a Row people through Burlington Together and the people throughout the city that are growing for us and dropping off their produce. Those numbers continue to grow. And finally, the Grow to Give program through Burlington Green. Again, just a tremendous amount of fresh produce that we're able to share with our neighbors here in Burlington. So thank you to all of those. And we also wanted to thank again Open Doors at St. Christopher's Church for their continued support as they purchase produce for us on a weekly basis. So we're getting fresh produce from our local wholesalers and then able to distribute it. So we're able to give out to our families lots of great, healthy, nutritious food, as well as the non-perishables that they're going to need. And then on top of the bread, the meat and milk and eggs and all of those types of things. Again, if you need our assistance, email us info@burlingtonfoodbank.ca or give us a call 905-637-2273.
Taking a look now at some upcoming events in Halton. The Falling Shadows Band is performing this week as part of Summer Days, Summer Nights 2020. In total, 12 curbside concerts are being put on for free in Milton, and this week you can watch between 7 and 8:30 p.m. at 244 Holmes Crescent, 1146 Bison Circle, and 246 Monaghan Crescent. Approximately 4,300 children and young adults in Canada are affected by cystic fibrosis. This Saturday, in an effort to raise funds for Cystic Fibrosis Canada, the movie Trolls World will be featured as an outdoor drive-in experience at Country Heritage Park. Tickets cost $100 per car, and with that you will receive a $25 tax receipt. The first 100 cars will be given a complimentary snack box, and the movie will start at 8:45. For more information or to buy tickets, please email drivin4cf@gmail.com. I'd like to take this opportunity to thank you for tuning in to Halton News right here on YourTV. We'll be back with another live edition tomorrow night at 5:30. Until then, I invite you to connect with us on social media. You can find us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at YourTV Halton. You can also connect with us via email at haltonnews@cogeco.com. Feel free to send us any comments, questions, or story ideas. And if you'd like to see more content, please visit us online at yourtv.tv. For Halton News, I'm Jessica Kading.